distractions.
How do you get to your place in Salt Lake?
While a member of our crew asks him basic questions over the phone, he must avoid totaling his car on a variety of obstacles.
From Salt Lake, you have to follow the belt route. And,
So when did you start using your headset on the road?
I was doing work for a company. It was a lot. And
Petrus performed far worse than he expected. Now, Dr. Strayer's taking Petrus back to the lab for the second part of the test, designed to give a concrete rating to his multitasking ability. And we'll give you a chance to play along too.
We have a driving simulator. I'll have you do some cognitive tasks while you're driving. People who claim to be super taskers can do that cognitive task and drive without impairments to either the cognitive task or to driving. So, you want to try being
absolutely.
a super tasker?
I'd like to see.
This test simulates conditions of driving while talking on the phone. Petrus will have two tasks to do while driving: solving a series of math problems while memorizing a list of words. The test is designed to be more demanding than an average phone conversation, so Dr. Strayer can track just how much Petrus's performance suffers at each task.
Excellent.
I'm going to ask you a series of math problems and give you a short word to remember after each problem. I'm going to ask you to recall all the words in the order that you heard them in. So, are you ready to begin?
Yes.
How about you? Want to give this one a try with Petrus? Obviously, you can't do the driving task, but try doing the math problems and memorizing the words. And we'll check in with you after to see how you did.
Is 8 times 4 plus 2 equal to 30?
No.
House. Is 9 times 3 minus 3 equal to 30?
No.
Mint. Is 4 divided by 1 plus 1 equal to 5?
Yes.
String. Recall.
Else, mit, string.
Okay.
Get all those right? Here's another shot at it.
Is 3 divided by 1 minus 1 equal to 2?
Yes.
Ice. Is 2 times 2 plus 1 equal to 4?
No.
Owl. Is 9 times 2 plus 2 equal to 20?
Yes.
Toy. Recall.
Ice. Skip. No. The last one was toy.
Okay.
Do you know the word Petrus couldn't remember? It was owl. But don't feel bad if you missed that one. This is an extremely difficult test, and you're not even driving while doing it.
Is 6 times 3 plus 4 equal to 22?
You're being forced to use different parts of your brain to accomplish each task.
Is 2 times 2...
The math problems require heavy use of this region, called the parietal lobe, while the memory tasks utilize your frontal lobe. On top of that, Petrus must use portions of his occipital lobe to deal with the visual and spatial input required to drive safely.
Turn right.
Often, these same regions are used when you talk on your cell phone while driving in a real car. With the test complete, Dr. Strayer is ready to give Petrus a concrete answer as to how he ranks as a multitasker.
Well, the good news is you're just like 98% of the rest of the people. You're like for driving performance, you got worse when you started to multitask, and the conversation task got worse when you're multitasking as well.
I think I'll put the cell phone a bit further away.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks a lot. It's been the most fun day.
Okay, good.
Despite Petrus's conviction that he is an efficient multitasker, his final scores turn out to be about average.
My confidence is absolutely shaken. I was surprised at how poor I fared on that.
So if you and Petrus are among the vast majority of people who can't excel doing two things at once, what does this mean for the multitasking you do in your day-to-day life?
And,
Let's look at the example of being on the phone while driving.
sorry.
Talking on a cell phone causes a form of inattention blindness where people look but just don't see information in the driving environment. They might miss the pedestrian, the traffic light.
A 2002 study estimated talking on the phone while driving causes over 2,500 deaths and 330,000 injuries every year in the US.
The likelihood of getting into a crash when you're talking on a cell phone is the same as getting into a crash when you are driving at a 0.08 blood alcohol level. For someone who's text messaging, the crash risk is twice that.
Still not convinced you've got a one-track mind? Apollo's got a trick for you. Try to catch how he does it while still paying attention to what he has to say.
I get asked all the time, where is the safest place to keep your stuff? The answer is really not that simple. It's a little bit more involved. You have to get inside the mind of a thief. And to do that, I'm going to show you how. You have to understand their target. They're looking for brands, looking for the type of watch that you wear, they're looking for your cash, and they're looking for your phone. All of these things are quite valuable, but it's important the way you can hide them. When you're traveling, here's a simple thing to do. You can get a cup. It acts as a portable safe. Put all your valuables inside, put a lid on top. You need a little bit of a convincer, something that it's a nice touch sometimes is just to use something simple like a straw. You put the straw on top, it convinces them that the cup might be empty. And if they were to rob you, they wouldn't find anything on you, and they'd probably leave you with your trash. Well, the nice thing is you'd still have all your valuables. And at the end, you'd have a nice, refreshing beverage.
Did you catch how he did that? And did you see the bunny, the gorilla, and the bear?
Put all your valuables inside.
Apollo just turned his keys, wallet, and cell phone into a cold cup of soda, while 3 costumed animals walked directly behind him.
Nice, refreshing. You can get a cup. You have to understand.
Did you see any of these critters? You may have noticed the bunny, but chances are good you didn't catch all 3. Why not? Is it the same reason you missed the background change in the first Apollo trick? Or the objects that appeared in the flicker test? Nope. Remember, these tricks relied on breaks in your visual memory that caused you to lose track of details in the scene. Once those breaks were removed, the changes became obvious.
The answer is really not that simple.
In this scene, there were no breaks, but you still missed something. This is because of a different neurological phenomenon called inattentional blindness.
Inattentional blindness is a failure to notice something unexpected when your attention is really focused tightly on something else. So we can often fail to see something that's fully obvious right there in front of us if we're not looking for it. It's a side effect of something that we do quite well, which is to focus attention and filter out all the irrelevant distractions. A consequence of that is we sometimes filter out things that we might actually want to see.
At any given moment, your brain is being bombarded with countless stimuli, such as images, sounds, and smells. These regions are some of your sensory cortices. Here, networks of neurons process the many stimuli coming in from your sense organs. These neurons work with nerves in other regions of your brain that prioritize the stimuli, making only the most important ones the object of your focus. The result of this sensory triage, millions of stimuli every moment go completely unprocessed. And bunnies, gorillas, and bears can walk through your field of vision completely unnoticed. As it turns out, your brain is remarkably good at filling in these cognitive blind spots to create a seamless version of reality. Here's a quick test to show you what we mean. Read this sentence aloud. Amazing that you can still read it, right? Why is that? Once your brain decides what's important, it fills in the rest of the scene with whatever your expectations suggest would be there.
All of us experience these sorts of failures of awareness all the time, and the key is that we're not aware of them. So you're only aware of those things you do notice. You're not aware of all of the things you miss.
It's a tricky concept to wrap your head around. How can you grasp how much of the world you're missing when there's no way of knowing what it is that you've missed? Let's simplify this. Dan Simons is teaming up with the dance group Jabbawockeez to do an experiment to help us figure out just how susceptible people are to inattentional blindness. It's similar to a test he's done before using recorded video, but tonight, for the first time, he's trying it out with a live audience.
So thank you all for coming in. We've got the Jabbawockeez here, and what we're going to do is have them do a couple of their routines. So here's what we're going to have you do. Anytime one of the Jabbawockeez wearing blue steps into either of the spotlights, keep track of that. So if they do this, that's 1. They step out, step back in, that's 2. Does that make sense? Yeah. So why don't I have the Jabbawockeez come back out here?
The counting exercise will help focus your attention. Try doing this test along with the audience. Remember, you're keeping track of the number of times the blue Jabbawockeez step into the spotlights.
All right, so how many people counted between 15 to 20? More than 20? All right. One other question, did anybody see a penguin?
What?
We can have our penguin friend come back out.
Dan Simons just told the live audience about an extra character in the Jabbawockeez performance they may not have seen.
So you didn't notice that when it went through?
Let's take another look. For anyone that still missed it, you are not alone.
How many people didn't see the penguin go through?
Over 50% of the audience did too.
I spotted it when I was in the middle.
I did not expect that at all.
I saw it when I was only looking at the circle.
I was concentrating on the circles and counting the people coming in and out.
Did you feel like you got the count pretty accurate?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you felt like you were getting close enough, right? If you didn't notice the penguin going through, don't feel bad. This says nothing about how intelligent you are, how much effort you're engaging. It turns out that about half of the people miss these sorts of unexpected events in the studies that I've done. Do any of you happen to ride motorcycles? The most common kind of motorcycle collision with a car is one in which the car turns left in front of the motorcycle. A driver of a car is looking for other cars, and they literally don't see the motorcycle, even though they can direct their eyes right at it, just as you were looking right at this 6-foot penguin.
As you can see, your brain's filter is powerful enough to cause you to miss large features in your environment.